Hi there. Back with the 8th 1 hour charge on the zinc carbon cell. Unfortunately last night on my last 2 hour charge I snapped the top of my electrode off the good carbon. Sort of doesn't normally build up with salt solutions on the carbons, normally when I pull them out of the cells. This one has. That was the scrapings off the Fullerene bread video. So I replaced it with a carbon electrode from a BAT D cell, and fortunately I did try that because resistance is really low on it now, and also have a paper towel wrapped around the carbon electrode, whereas I forgot to do that, and it sort of holds its voltage for a while. The cell's been charging now for 2 minutes shy of an hour, and we're on the 10 milliamp range, and it's 470 milliamps or so, but the voltage I've noticed is a bit lower. It might be just on the verge of overcharging as it's going down. So I'll disconnect that. Almost burns the little cell out because it delivers that much power now. So the resistance in the homemade plastic carbon cell was actually slowing down the amperage load to this motor, and after a half-hour charge with this electrode wrapped in paper towel, it holds 100 milliamps after 17 hours, which isn't too bad, and 1.4 volts. So I'll set the timer and we'll start a discharge. We'll do a short circuit. We're on the 10 milliamp range. Short circuiting now. 400 milliamps. Not too bad. I'll just put it on the 200 milliamp range now. Okay. Right. Connecting the load. And the charge voltage was the same, 5 volts. I'm using the bread carbon on some copper pads. I've got them drying at the moment, and I have some 2 zinc cells ready. These are pretty clean. They're a brand new cell, so no oxidization or anything. But perhaps the oxidization from being in an old cell like that zinc came out of increased the surface area perhaps of the zinc because of the potassium hydroxide or whatever it's in. So we're at 1 minute delivering 56 milliamps, holding 1 volt. There doesn't seem to be any decay on the zinc cell at the moment after about 8 charges and discharges. It's a pretty hot day today, so the temperature could be affecting the cell's at 40 degrees and ambient is 31. That's 10 degrees up on us. So it's quite hot. My power supply is 48, so I'm going to shut it down after this test. Actually, I'll turn it off. No, can I do that? No, I can't. Got the other thing connected. Got the phone connected to the same power point. But I think the carbon would help the electrode. I'm going to make up a little basket made out of this felt stuff, and have some carbon on this rod and try the carbon after. So I'll have, say, about 5 mil of carbon around the outside of this rod, about that much. So we're at 3-minute run time, and it's holding its voltage quite well compared to the normal cells of that size. Oh, and for an up and coming video I got a sneak peek. I have been growing some SFZ cellulose. It's a bacteria that leaves behind its cellulose. So I'm going to see if I can make that as a battery separator. I've got the filming of this. I started that at 24th of October. It's this, I forgot the date, whatever the date is. I also have a SFZ growing in some I did some graphite electrolysis with 2 graphite rods, and after draining the solution I used what was left in the drained solution, which was a yellow, in the other bowl. It sort of grew some mould or something, but it looks like carbon on top, so I don't know if it's collecting the carbon or what. So that's a later video. But either way, I might even be able to see if I can dry that cellulose and put it in the acetone and do the Robert Murray Smith's battery separator with the cellulose. And 5 minutes, and it's holding its voltage, not too bad. I'll leave the timer running, and I'll get back when it's at, or hopefully I'll get back in time when it's at 0.22 volts, and we'll see what the run time is. The cell at half hour's running time. 37 minutes actually. It's drawing 20 milliamps at 0.44 volts. Still going pretty well. The other tests were taken down to 0.22, and I'll be back in a minute or whenever. Okay, here we are at 1.5 hours, lights in the way, 1.5 hours run time. We've still got 12 milliamps and we're at 0.22 volts. That's not too bad a run time for an hour's charge at 5 volts. We'll see what it bounces back at while we wait. I have the new electrode. I'll just stop the timer. Okay, I have the new electrode. I've got the felt sort of toweling around it, packed with the bread Fullerene carbon from that video. I've insulated that with some electrical tape. I'll have the zinc plate along that side of the electrical tape so it stops from touching. It's a bit fatter sort of just fits in the jar. It'll be sort of almost tight. Not sure if the lid will want to go on there. And we're about 0.6, it probably won't go up any more than that. We'll check for plate damage. Ooh. Okay. The carbon one, it's got the paper towel just wrapped around it for insulation. Seems to have some black, perhaps the carbon electrode consumed, but the liquid's a bit murky because I filled it up with some of that liquid yesterday. And for the zinc one looks a bit funny. It's got like lumpy bits growing over it. They could be the dendrites everyone's talking about. I wonder if that goes that way better. See them? And the other side of it. The other side looks pretty clean. I think that's the side facing the electrode. So we'll keep that one facing the new electrode and see what happens. So that was after a discharge. We should check it after we charge it maybe too. But the sides of the plate don't look like they're consumed. They'd start probably, you'd tell from there. The back of it looks good. Don't forget it came out of a old cell. The zinc did look like this. Crusty. But that might have helped the zinc plate maybe. Not sure. We'll find out when I try those new ones. So I'll just see if this fits there. Don't want to cut through the insulation tape though. Nah, I'll just stick that in there. And okay, I'm going to put the lumpy side towards the electrode bit. Okay, I'll let that soak up some liquid. That carbon might need to settle overnight as well. I think the tub needs some distilled water. I'll just put a smidgen in there. I'll give that a mix around. Okay, I don't know what that's going to be like. So, what's that one? That's the positive lead. And the negative lead. Okay, alright, we got to 1 volt. We'll do a short circuit without any charge. And oh, it's going up. I think the electrolyte has to get through the carbon and that big dirty pad separator. So it's got 4 milliamps. We'll give it a bit of a charge and see what happens. Now it's taken 187. Oh, we just jumped over. I'll put it on 10 milliamp range. Alright, connecting the load again. We'll give it a minute. Alright, it's 230 milliamps. 240. Voltage is a little bit up compared. So I'm not sure what that's going to be like. But you'd think because of the extra surface area forming around the carbon, it should be better. So the last run with the carbon rod and separator was not too bad, an hour and a half run time. And we're at 50 seconds. Alright, that's 1 minute. And we'll see what that voltage settles at. Oh, it's dropping quickly. What happened? And a short circuit on the 10 amp range. It's only 100 milliamps, 90. Bit more of a charge. But it'll probably take a while for the carbon to settle in. Alright, and we'll check the load. So we're dropping quickly compared to the other one after a charge of longer duration. Well, it's still looking good. Tap the carbon down. Yeah, not too bad. We'll do a short circuit. Oh, it's bouncing to 1.2 volts. Shorting still about 80 milliamps, 70 now. Holding 70 for a while. Dropping. There we go. Alright, I'll let that soak up some solution. And I'll give that a charge probably when the power supply cools down. Alright, thanks for watching.